Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we are going to talk specifically about Thordak the Cinder King from Legends of Vox Machina Season 2, which is the greatest Dungeons & Dragons story of 2023, in my humble opinion, brought to you by D&D's greatest D&D canon hardback author, Matthew Mercer. All right, so Thordak the Cinder King is the leader of the Chroma Conclave, and the Chroma Conclave is a group of dragons who have had a terrible action taken against them by Vox Machina. Vox Machina has, murdered their brother, taken Brimscythe's life, right? And now every member of the Chroma Conclave, which is Umbrasyl and Vorugal and Ryshan and Thordak, are incredibly, they're upset. Like they're deeply wounded that, their friend, their brother, their compatriot has been made gone. Brimscythe be gone. Existence no more, right? His life taken from him, right? His bones ground to ash, right? All of his parts just, scurried up and collected by talismongers, right? Brimscythe's life was taken by Vox Machina, right? So here you see Thordak, the Cinder King, and this is the creation of Matthew Mercer, which incredibly carries forward this amazing tradition brought by Gary Gygax and carried forward by Lorraine Williams, carried forward by Ryan Dancy, carried forward by Rob Hainsou, carried forward by Christopher Perkins. The ball never dropped. The American Dragon made better and better and better and better till we reached Thordak the Cinder King, right? And what's amazing about Thordak the Cinder King, each one of these dragons is the most beautiful illustration of what can be done with Dungeons & Dragons and nothing else. Just to be clear, when the Vox Machina story was begun, Matthew Mercer was running Pathfinder, right? And he was like, this is interesting. Felicia Day, a real Hollywood movie star, right? Like, just reached out to me and said that she would like my, my little game to go pro. Well, I can't keep it on Pathfinder because the weight of creating anything meaningful or purposeful or good would snap a Pathfinder in half like twigs, because it's junk, and I need an actual platform to run my story on. And he did. He's like, if I want this to be good or useful, I can't run it on Pathfinder. I need to run it on Dungeons & Dragons. And from that moment forward, every single thing in Vox Machina has been Dungeons & Dragons. And in today, when you're looking at Legends of Vox Machina Season 2, that is a brick of gold constructed with Dungeons & Dragons. And the weight of that brick of gold would have snapped Pathfinder in two. And this is what I'm telling you right now. Wait till you see the weight that comes for Orc, right? And wait till you see how quickly Pathfinder snaps, right? All that Pathfinder energy, all those Pathfinder creators, all that Pathfinder momentum, it's gonna show exactly what Matthew Mercer knew 7 years ago. Don't build anything on Pathfinder, people, or energy, or anything, right? Like, because it will snap under the weight of anything real, right? But the American Dragon that's been carried forward for, through 5 different Guardians, right? Straight to Matthew Mercer, Thordak, the Cinder King. What is really incredible about Thordak is how he processes fire, right? So when Thordak breathes fire, first of all, he has a gigantic fire gem literally implanted in his chest, right? And then when he goes to breathe fire, he starts up like an engine. Literally, parts of his body open up and he gouts flames, right? Like, from both sides of his body, it's like watching an engine start, and all these gouts of flame like splash out, right? And then right above his shoulder blades, these huge, gouts of flame fire out, right? And then he kicks out his fire breath, which is normal, traditional red, orange flame, until it goes into a white, hot blue laser, right? That destroys even more, right? Just like concentrated, like just ephemeral fire. Like fire at every level, and he is just a reaping death king, right? And the reality is he was triggered, right? All of his destruction was brought forward by this decision of Vox Machina to end his brother, his compatriot, his fellow, his friend's life, Brimscythe, right? So Matthew Mercer has done an absolutely incredible job, like illustrating Gary Gygax's new American Dragon, and you are looking at Gary Gygax's American Dragon brought through 5 incredible Guardians of Dungeons & Dragons straight to the Matthew Mercer, the greatest D&D champion of today, and you are looking at the American Dragon, only available through Dungeons & Dragons, and certainly not Pathfinder. Because is the D&D show as good as the Pathfinder show? I don't think there is a Pathfinder show, is there? Oh man. And maybe that's where we are right now, that the orc and everything being tried to build on the OGL and the OSR and the orc is a whole bunch of talk, a whole bunch of promises, and vapor, right? That's where we're at, right? So you could choose D&D Beyond Persecution, D&D Beyond Prejudice, D&D Beyond the 2023 Manic Panic, or you can choose D&D Beyond, right? You can go over under the banner of the Persecutor. You have that choice right now, right? And everything is changing. D&D used to be an approved game, right? Everybody in the tabletop role-playing game space understood that D&D deserved to have a seat at the table. Those days are done. The choice is Persecutor or Persecuted. And a lot of people are going to try to gaslight you and tell you that's not where we are. That is where we are. Just understand the D&D Begone banner. Anyone who's ever used it, anyone who allies with them, they are the persecutor. And we are the persecuted, right? Understand when you are being castigated, when you're being given contempt, and when you're being given judgment. And don't let anyone tell you that's not what's happening now. We can still celebrate Sunday Dungeons & Dragons. That's exactly what Legends of Vox Machina Season 2 is, in my humble opinion. I'm ready to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.